Bivol. It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy Buatsi, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, interesting stuff coming out that light heavyweight division. You guys know that the light heavyweight division is probably one of my favorite divisions in the sport of boxing. But, you know, I like Joshua Buasti, and I've liked him for a long time. But he's been living off potential for a long time, a very long time, you know. He obviously came into the pros with a lot of amateur pedigree, Olympic pedigree. He's shown skills. He's shown top grade skills at times in his career. But when it's come time to make that next step in his career, he has been able to get that fight to really show the world what he's about. And you look at domestically what's been happening in his division. You know, Anthony Yarde, who I used to always classify as higher than him, I feel like I surpassed him because Anthony Yarde's been fighting top competition and putting up really good fights. Like this year against Beterbiev, he didn't win, but he made Beterbiev finally look human, you know. And look at a guy like Dan Azeez, who's, you know, been picking up these domestic titles one by one, looking really good in his fights. Look at Ben Whitaker, who's making a lot of noise, only 2 professional fights with a lot of pedigree as well. So Buatsi, his career has stagnated, and he's slowly but surely, it looks like domestically in the UK, he's getting left behind. And now it seems like it's for good reason, because it's been reported that Joshua Buasti, one of the top contenders in the division, who has been, you know, linked to fighting Dmitry Bivol for the world title for a long, long time. Apparently, he got offered a fight with Dmitry Bivol for £1 million, and he turned it down. He turned down a world title shot with Dmitry Bivol, the man that you could make a great argument for is maybe the best pound-for-pound fighter in the entire sport. He had a chance to fight for the WBA strap and turned it down. So apparently he's a promotional free agent, and he's got other plans in mind, which we'll get into later on. But Eddie Hearn revealed and talked about that situation. So here's what Eddie Hearn said about Buatsi turning down the Bivol fight and all that good stuff. You know, he said, Hearn stated the following, and I quote, "Buatsi got made an offer which we did match, and we will see what we do moving forward. We've offered him well over £1 million to fight Dmitry Bivol, and he has turned it down. That's disappointing. We wanted to fight Callum Smith or Bivol, but I think he wants to fight Dan Azeez. Josh is a great fighter, and we'll see what the future holds, but I believe he can win world titles. He was once considered a blue-chip prospect, but inactivity has saw Buatsi's career stall in recent times, and it's soon approaching a full year since he's been in the boxing ring." So there you go. Listen, Buatsi's now a promotional free agent. I think Eddie Hearn is being very fair with Buatsi. Buatsi's not a big name, you know, so far as like the money he could command. You know, to fight a guy like Bivol, a man whose, you know, name is up there in boxing. You know, he just beat Canelo Alvarez, and you don't really get much bigger than Canelo Alvarez when you talk about name recognition and name value in the sport. And he beat that man. He, you know, as you say here on True School Sports, you know, exposed Canelo Alvarez. And just being in the ring with a guy like Bivol would have really been great for Buatsi's career moving forward. And if he could have beat him, obviously it would have done wonders for him. But he didn't feel like the risk was worth the reward. And then Callum Smith, that'd be a good fight. You know, Callum Smith's another guy, big name domestically, been Ring Magazine light heavyweight, Ring Magazine super middleweight champion, now a top contender in the light heavyweight division. So Eddie's trying to do what he can, but Buatsi seems like he doesn't want that he's not going to fight. As far as the Dan Azeez fight, no, I don't think I've ever made a video about Dan Azeez, so this is my first time talking about him on video. But Dan Azeez is a good fighter. I like Dan Azeez. Dan Azeez is really, I think, done a great job of building himself. You know, this guy is a fighter that, when you look at what he's done domestically in the UK, he's fought a lot of names. You know, I'm very up on my British boxing. I know the guys whose names mean something in the UK, and you know, you look at what he's done. He's beaten guys like Andre Sterling and Rocky Fielding, and then he won the European title against the dude Thomas Fouar, whatever his name was. So he's a guy that's ranked up there. You know, he's been a Beterbiev sparring partner. He's a real good fighter, and I'm not gonna be mad if that fight happens, but it really has to make you scratch your head and really make you question Joshua Buatsi's ambitions in the sport, because you mean to tell me you're out here, you got all this talent, you're supposedly this top grade fighter, and you're turning down a WBA title shot with Dmitry Bivol for well over £1 million because you want to chase fights against domestic British and Commonwealth champions like Dan Azeez? Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. Buatsi better get a move on with his career quickly and swiftly, because like I said, he's getting slowly but surely left in the dust in the UK when it comes to the light heavyweights. You look at, like I said, Anthony Yard, I think, has passed him, because Anthony Yard's giving people great fights. Anthony Yard has, we know what level he's at, because he's fought the best. And he's looked pretty good at times against some of the best fighters that the boxing has to offer, like Artur Beterbiev in his last fight. You know, so his stock has went up. Look at, Dan Azeez. He's kind of like, about to pass Joshua Buatsi just because Buatsi's not fighting. Look at Ben Whitaker, who I don't think it's not going to be long before Benjamin Whitaker is knocking on the door of some pretty big things in the sport. They're going to fast track him. So got to get a move on. Callum Smith's in the division as well. So you got to get a move on. It's really sad what's happened to Buatsi, because he seems like a really nice person and he is a really good fighter. But, I really started worrying for Buatsi when he hired Virgil Hunter. And then Virgil Hunter saying that he needs 2 or 3 more fights and all this stuff. And it's just, this is really the icing on the cake for what's really been a career of it's becoming a career of nothingness. They're on the road to nowhere, and they're on the road to nowhere fast. So that's the news. Eddie Hearn reports that Joshua Buatsi has turned down an offer to fight Dmitry Bivol for the world title for well over £1 million, and he'd rather fight Dan Azeez. So make of that what you will. I wish him the best, but make of that what you will. What do you guys think? Is there any justification for him wanting to fight Dan Azeez over Dmitry Bivol? If there is, please explain it to me, because I just don't quite get it. But let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Dane. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this video, click right here and make sure you subscribe. Much love from sunny South Florida.